Let's get to him now. Let's bring him in. The man of the hour, Dan Murphy. Murph, thanks so much for joining us.
Centering up here, boys. How we doing? There we go.
Good. There you go. Beautiful. Yeah. Very
good. How are you guys?
Good. How's the offseason treating you so far?
Well, I wish the weather would be a little bit better, to be honest. I'd like to play a little bit more golf, but overall it's been good. If Edmonton would have somehow lost in the conference finals, I would have won the cup finals. So I was happy for Edmonton in that instance, that I didn't have to travel between Dallas and Florida. But, getting some stuff done around the house, being an Uber driver for the child, the standard stuff, And congratulations, Quads, by the way, on your engagement.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You brought up golfing. So obviously we need to ask you, other than Miller, we know Miller is the best golfer of that trio, right? You, Zadorov, Miller, we know he's the best. You or Zadorov, who's a better golfer?
I would be right now, but Zadorov has only been playing for, I think he said 4 to 5 years. I got to say, like, he's very good for a guy that's played that. He shoots in the low to mid 80s, high 80s. He bombs it off the tee, as you might expect. It's just some of the finer tuning stuff around the greens and some of the short irons. But I was super impressed with JT. Like, I've played with a couple guys on tour, Hadwin and Taylor, and he is as long or longer than those guys off the tee. The timing is incredible. Just bombs it and got good touch around the green. So it was a fun day. It was a little rainy, a little cloudy, but we had a good time getting out there and playing.
How much did JT let the chirps fly? Especially Zadorov's there too.
Yeah, a lot. So my friend who's a member at Capilano, his name's Jeff Williams, just a great dude. I've known him for probably 15, 20 years now. And basically right after the first tee shots, we're out there, and it was myself and Jeff versus those two guys. JT's like, is this a safe space? And I was like, absolutely. And right from there, everybody was all over everybody else with the chirps. There was, nothing was off limits. Let's just put it that way. So you have to be able to handle it. You have to be able to give it back, because those two certainly can dish it out. There's no question.
Oh, good stuff. That's awesome.
Speaking of Zadorov and Vancouver's pending free agents, do you have an early sense of who management might prioritize, who they really want to return from this pool of pending UFAs?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few they'd like to, but probably have been outpriced on. And I don't have any more information than the real big insiders like Elliot and even Rick works the phone so hard in this market. I would think if I was handicapping of all of them, like the bigger guys, I just get the sense that Lindholm is now out the door. He'll probably head east. If 7x7 was the offer here and he turned it down, he'll probably end up getting, over the total of the contract, maybe $3 to $4 million more somewhere else, which is not pennies. And I don't know if he wanted to slide in as a third line center on this team, which is what he probably would be, assuming Elias Pettersson gets back to where he should be. And then, for Dakota Joshua, he's in a different situation in his career, right? Late 20s. This is his first chance to cash in. And for him, I don't think it's situational. You take the biggest payday you can. That's just I know it sounds, greedy, but he hasn't had a chance to make money yet. So if it's Columbus, if it's Chicago, if somebody wants to give him 4x4 or something like that, he's got to take the money and run, because this is his only chance so far to kind of set himself up for the future. So I guess if I'm handicapping, I'd say Zadorov, and I don't even know if that's possible. We've heard the rumors of the offers that have been made, 6 years term, probably somewhere in the $4 million, not quite enough to get it done. What I will say is this: I know for Zadorov, being in a winning environment means a lot at this stage in his career. So that there's a box checked for Vancouver. Where your family wants to live or likes to live is very important at this time in his career. Check that off. His wife loved it. His kids loved their school. They lived in West Vancouver. So I think he's willing to take less than what he'd get on the open market to stay here, but how much less, I'm not sure, right? I mean, you still want to get paid. So I would say of those three, I think that Zadorov probably has the best chance to get re-signed, and I'm not even sure if that's going to get done, but I would think that would have the best possibility of the three.
Murph, what did you make of the comments over the weekend, the chirp with Darren Millar? We were just chatting about them, specifically that comment from Talkit speaking about potentially 7 free agents leaving. leaving the team. What did you make of those comments?
Wow, this is the first time I'm hearing of it. As you guys know, I probably checked right out. And on the weekend, I was crying in my soup over McIlroy choking at the U.S. Open. But so how many did they have? Did they have 10 in the end did they have 10 unrestricted?
Unrestricted? No, I think it's 9 unrestricted.
9. So Cole's gone, we would assume, right?
Yep.
Lafferty's probably gone, we'd assume. DeSmith is gone, we would assume. Joshua gone, I think. Lindholm gone. What are we up to, 5?
Yeah.
So what are the other ones we're looking at? So Blueger, I could see Blueger coming back. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that I really think they'd like to get Zadorov done. I'd read something into that then. This is a guy that profiles the way they want the defense to play, right? And I know that people say, okay, he's your third pair lefty, which is true. But I think kind of the second and third pairs have been a little bit interchangeable. Susie probably deserves to play a little higher in the lineup, but I don't think there's that much difference in those two pairs. And you can mix those up as much as you want. So, maybe obviously Rick has better information than we do at this point. So maybe there are a couple that are coming back, and maybe it is Blueger and Zadorov. I'm not sure.
Murph, you're obviously tapped in with the players and just how generally they feel. Just reflecting on the season that was, how much do you think it meant for guys like Miller, Myers, Besser, Miller, or repeated Miller there, Petey, Hughes, to, after years of pain, finally break through again and find some success?
I think it meant, everything. And I think that, despite the way the season ended by losing games 6 and 7 in that series that they had a great chance to win, I think really of games 4 and 6 in that series, to me, were their chances to really, kind of take, obviously game 6, but game 4 as well. But I think that as hungry as they were to get back here at the beginning of this season early and to quash the losing mentality, I think they'll be just as hungry to come back and make sure that this wasn't a one-off, because it's going to be difficult. There's going to be a ton of change. But I think for those guys to see the city in playoff action, to get some success, even, throughout the end of the regular season, guys having their names chanted, including Garland. I think that for players that haven't, really experienced what a fun market can be like JT did, obviously, in the playoffs, but at this point in his career where he's a leader, not a rookie or a young guy, I think it meant a ton.
How do you view the season that Elias Pettersson had? Because that's a guy, again, till two halves kind of, and it went into the playoffs as well, and he's got a big ticket starting next year.
Obviously it ended a little more disappointing than I think most people would like it to be. I think when I looked at the numbers at the end defensively, they held up their end of the bargain in the playoffs. They just didn't get the production, the bottom line. He's always kind of been a player, though, that's had, peaks and valleys, right? He's had these incredibly insane hot streaks, and then he's had some cold patches, whether it be the start of the season where he signed his new deal or the end of last season. So I think for Pettersson, he's such a perfectionist that I think most of the time it's himself getting in his own way, if that makes any sense. I think once he realizes, and I think he knows he's a great player, but once he realizes he can really impose his will as a player and do that consistently, I think that's where, the guy that's making 11 million plus is going to shine through. So I would say it was probably overall a decent season. But if he would have somehow come through in the playoffs, it would have been a really good season for him, because, people get up all in arms and say, you can't win with these guys. You know what? You can't get to the playoffs without guys like Elias Pettersson.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to do it. You need 85, 90-point guys. And you're going to hope that he is going to turn into a guy that can really get it done in the playoffs. And I don't think you can judge a guy on his first real playoff experience and say he can't get it done. I mean, that's blasphemy. That's stupid. So I think that once he realizes he gets a little bit stronger again, we always talk about it. I'm not concerned about that contract year one as of yet.
The Canucks, if they lose a lot of these guys to free agency, they're going to be shopping in the free agent market for replacements. Just big picture, now that the Canucks are finally winning again, I'm curious, even from what you experienced going back to the 2011 days, how attractive is Vancouver as a market to to go to as a destination when the team is doing well, and just how beautiful the city is.
Yeah, I think first off, winning does a lot, right? If your team's a winning team, you're going to attract guys, period. I mean, I'm not trashing Edmonton in this way, but like if Edmonton didn't have McDavid and Draisaitl, you're going to be tough getting some of those free agents to go there. But they are Stanley Cup contenders. They have been the last 3 years. If they are going next year, if they don't win this year, people are going to want to go there because they're going to want to play with those elite players and they're going to want to have a chance to win. So I think having a winning environment and having a chance to win means the most. So they've got that. And then when you got for some guys, a hockey mad market is not where it's at, right? There's certain guys that are going to shy away from it and certain guys are going to be attracted to it. They like that accountability. So, I don't think they'll have a problem. I think Rick Tocchet can be a draw. I don't think there's any question about that. Players would like to play for him, I think. And so I think that, if they do indeed lose 7-8 guys, there's two things. The market now looks like a winning market, looks like a winning culture again. They've turned it around, so that'll help. And I also think, number 2, you've got Rick Tocchet. And number 3, you've got some stars. So I think that those will all be attractive things to unrestricted free agents, but especially the winning.
Also the chance to golf with the Dan Murphy as well. There's that.
What a treat that is. That's going to be emotionally damaging to them if they have to watch that.
Murph, good stuff as always. We really appreciate you taking the time today. Enjoy the rest of your off season if we don't talk before then, but maybe we'll see you out at development camp or something like that.
All right. Probably not, but if you're going golfing, give me a call.
Absolutely. Actually, we'll take you up on that. Canucks Conversation is live Monday through Friday, every weekday at 2 p.m. over on the Canucks Army YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and interact in the YouTube live chat every day with us, folks.